Jake sat alone. Dark room, curtains closed, no sound, no birds, no cars, no voices. He heard nothing but the heavy beat of his heart and his broken breath. The world outside kept spinning, but inside him, time stood still. He hadn't always felt this way. He once laughed, once loved, had friends, dreams, faith in goodness. Then his father died from a sudden stroke. His girlfriend left, saying he wasn't the same. The job he loved disappeared after layoffs. He kept living, but not truly. Each day became a performance. Every smile, a mask. Every greeting, a lie. He pretended to be okay so no one would ask. But when the doors closed, he collapsed. A man burying his face into his pillow, shoulders shaking from silent cries, eyes dry from too many tears. Each night he stayed awake. Not from insomnia, but because there was no reason to sleep. He sat by the window, staring at the flickering streetlights, feeling like a ghost fading into the dark. Sometimes he typed a message, just a few words. "I'm so tired." Then deleted. Who would care? Who would understand? Who would listen if he let it all out? He often reached for his phone, thinking of calling someone, anyone, but then turned the screen off. He didn't want to burden anyone with his invisible grief. No one knew he was slowly disappearing. No one noticed the silent screams. Then came a night. Tuesday. Cold air. Harsh wind. The city looked distant under fog. He walked without aim. Didn't know where he was going. Just knew he didn't want to return. His feet carried him to the familiar bridge. From there, the whole city lay below. Beautiful, unreachable, cold. He stood by the railing, quiet, hands gripping the steel, eyes on the black water. No fear, no panic, just emptiness. A decision, long brewing, now made. Then a voice, soft, like wind, like a whisper from someone who'd been there all along. "You are loved." He turned, startled. A woman, unknown, calm, no fear in her eyes, no questions, just a steady gaze, warm and unflinching. She stepped closer, not rushing, not hesitant, just steady. "You might not see it, but you are valuable. I don't know what you're going through, but I know this. You are not invisible. God sees you. He has never left." He froze, couldn't speak. His heart pounded, eyes burning. Her words cut through something locked for too long. She didn't lecture, didn't advise, she shared her own story. "I stood here once, right here. Same thoughts, same weight. I thought I had nothing left. But then someone came, spoke a few words, and I stayed. I'm alive today because of that." He broke. Tears he hadn't shed in months poured down, as if every buried ache rose to the surface. She said nothing more, just sat beside him, present, still. After a while, she offered to walk him home. He nodded. They walked, slowly, through quiet streets. He spoke. Not because he wanted advice, but because someone finally listened. He spoke of his father, his heartbreak, the loneliness in crowds. She listened, never interrupted, never judged. Before they parted, she handed him a small piece of paper, a phone number. "Call me, anytime." He took it, said nothing, but placed it in his wallet. Not out of politeness, but because a small spark flickered inside him. The next morning he opened the curtains, let the sunlight in. It didn't feel warm, but it was real. He didn't feel okay, but he was breathing. And for that moment, it was enough. Days later, he called. She answered immediately. Her voice sounded like she was still sitting beside him. He laughed. For the first time in months, not forced, not fake, she introduced him to a support group. People like him, survivors, fighters. They shared, they listened. No fixing, just presence. He began therapy. At first it felt useless. But over time, he saw his reflection without shame. He journaled, again, ate full meals, exercised. Some days he fell back. But he rose again, a year later. Same bridge, same wind, but not the same man. He came not to leave, but to give thanks, to offer hope. And then he saw a young man, 17, maybe 18, standing just as he once did, hands on the railing, eyes lost. Jake walked up, quiet, gentle. "You are loved." The boy looked up, shocked, tearful. "I don't know what you're facing, but I stood here too, believing no one understood. Then someone came, and I stayed. I'm here now, for you." They sat. Silence. Wind whistled. Lights blinked. One bridge. Two hearts that once shattered. Jake now shares his story. In classrooms, in shelters, in churches. Not as a preacher, not as a hero. Just as a man who was saved by a whisper. "You are loved." He still has restless nights. Still wakes heavy some mornings, but he's not alone. He carries faces, stories, grace, and those three words. If you are hurting, speak, call. Let someone be there. You are not meant to suffer alone. You are not a burden. You were created with purpose. Even if you can't see it right now, it is true. And if you've come through darkness, be a light for someone else. Because somewhere, someone is standing on the edge waiting for a voice like yours. Share this story. Leave a comment, subscribe. Someone out there needs to hear what once saved you. You are loved. You are not alone.